Hey guys, Mrs. Sands here. Sorry I couldn't be in today, but we're done learning everything in our unit, and today is just review. I am going to go through a few things with you in this lesson to kind of give you some hints about things, but you really should be able to do this on your own. You can look back in your workbook to look things up if necessary. So this is our first review. We have no school on Monday. Tuesday we are doing another review, and then your test is Wednesday and Thursday. Your test is both days. Some of it will be in class and some of it will be at home. I will be posting the answers to this week's homework assignments sometime this weekend, so that if you have questions on Tuesday when you see me, you can ask those. So let's get on with our lesson. So you have to find the error in this do now. We have to look for it line by line. First thing I think about is if I was doing this problem, I would distribute the -2. And -2 times x is -2x, so that's okay. But right here, -2 times -5, right here should be a +10. So there's a mistake in line 2. And there is a question similar to this on your test, so make sure you can look through work that's done. So the error was on line 2. The rest of it must be okay. If they combine like terms and solve, this is what they would get, but they really did make an error. Number 2, they're asking if -5 is a solution to that equation. So I guess there's two ways you could do it. You could solve the equation and see if you also get -5, or why not just do a check, right? If they're asking if -5 is a solution, substitute -5 in place of all of the x's, and then you'll be able to answer yes or no. I like to do one side of a check at a time, so I'm going to work over here, -15 minus 7 plus a -20. -15 minus 7, that's -22. And we have to add on a -20. That would give me a -42. So if the other side is a -42, then it is a solution. Let's see. So in parentheses first, you get -10 minus 4. And you do what's in the parentheses again. You get -14. And then what is 14 times 3? It is 42. Positive times negative is negative. So it checks out. So let's answer the question. Is -5 a solution? Yes. -5 is the solution. And on part 1 here, the simplify part, notice that there aren't any equal signs in any of these problems. That's why it only says simplify and it doesn't say to solve. So I'll do one of them with you. To simplify means to distribute and combine like terms. I'll do number 6 with you. So remember, this is a -2 that has to get distributed. So we have 4x minus 2x, and right here a -2 times -3, that's the common mistake. That's the mistake that the person made in the do now even. -2 times -3 is a +6, and I'll bring down the plus 5x. And now let's combine like terms. I have 4x, a -2x, and a positive 5x. And if I combine these, I get 7x, right? Because 4 take away 2 is 2, add on the 5, it's 7, so I have 7x. There isn't anything to combine this plus 6 with, so I'll just write it down, and that is my answer. So none of the problems over here, numbers 1 through 6, they can't be solved because they don't have an equal sign. They can only be simplified. Simplifying is distributing and combining like terms. And then I just want to point out that on the rest of these, there's a lot of equations to solve and check. I really don't want to overwhelm you with too many checks. So I'm going to tell you right now, hope you're paying attention, that you have to check number 7, but you don't have to check number 8. You can if you want. You have to check number 9, but you don't have to check number 10. Again, you can if you want, but you don't have to. You do not have to check 11, 12, or 13. You don't have to check these. You can if you want. You do have to check number 14. And you do have to check number 15. You don't have to check 16 or 17. And then the rest are not asking you for checks. They're the word problems. I am not going to solve any of these equations with you. I am expecting you to be able to do such a thing. It was like your quiz. I am going to start you off or give you some hints in some of the word problems though. So if we can go to number 18. I'm going to really set up 18 with you. I would hope that on your test you could do it alone though. Some people just don't like that there's a fraction in this. It says the sum, which means to add something, of 6/5 of a number and 2 is 14. So the things that I'm adding are 6/5 of a number and 2. So before the plus sign, I'll put 6/5 of a number. I'm using x for a number. So I'm adding 6/5 of a number to 2. The result is 14. And you know what? I will solve this one with you just to remind you about those fractional coefficients. I would subtract 2 from both sides. And now we have 6/5 x equals 12. And now when you have a fractional coefficient, I want you to multiply both sides by the reciprocal. Remember, with the equations, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And if your coefficient is a fraction, the best way of doing it is multiplying by the reciprocal. Because look, this 5 and this 5 simplify to be 1. This 6 and this 6 simplify to be 1. And the only thing left on the left side then is an x. Over here on the right side, I'll put a 1 underneath the 12. I'll simplify the 6 and the 12. It's 2 over 1. So I kind of ran out of room. I'm coming over here. I'm left with x equals, in the numerator, 2 times 5 is 10. In the denominator, 1 times 1 is 1. So really, x equals 10. On number 19, Walt Thompson runs a ski train. One day he noticed that the train contained 13 more women than men. What I just underlined in blue is where your let statements come from. Let's let x equal the number of men. And I'm going to make you figure out what to write for the number of women. I'm not going to do the whole thing for you. When you write your equation, you'll do the men plus the women to get you the total of 165. So the men, we already said, was x. Whatever you write for the women, whatever over here, you're going to put in that spot and then finish solving the equation. If we look at number 20 is just like yesterday's lesson, because see how it says find 2 consecutive integers. So I'm just going to tell you it's like yesterday's lesson. Look back at yesterday's notes. Actually, this one's a little tougher than yesterday. So you know what? I am going to do it with you. So we have to find 2 consecutive integers. So we'll let x equal the first integer. And consecutive comes one right after the other. So x plus 1 is the second integer. And there was only 2, so those are my 2 let statements. This equation actually is harder than yesterday's equations. That's why I decided I wanted to do it with you. Look what it says. Twice the first is 26 more than a second. Yesterday, we were just like adding them together to equal a number. So this one is definitely harder. So we have to write twice the first. Do you agree that twice means 2 times? So I want to do 2 times the first. And the first we wrote just as an X. And then it says is, so we'll put an equal sign here. It is 26 more than the second. That means I have to add on 26 to the second. So the second integer was x plus 1, and I have to add on 26. So I'm glad I saw that it was a tougher equation. I hope this makes sense now that I did it with you. I'm going to ask you to solve it on your own, though, and tell me what the two integers are. And then number 21 is like 2 days ago. Lesson 10, was it? Where we were drawing our pictures. So the length of a rectangle is 6 more than its width. So I'll let the width be x. I'm going to make you figure out what to label the length since it's 6 more than the width. And then remember, perimeter means add up all 4 sides. Don't forget that there are 4 sides to a rectangle, and it adds up to be 24, it says. Yeah. So you figure out what those, what that length is, and write something for the equation equals 24. And that's it. So I'm keeping it short. You have the rest of the period to work on this. And don't forget, it has to be turned into Google Classroom. So enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.